Check out what the satisfied Dan Gemus real estate team clients are saying about working with the Dan Gemus team. Visit dangemus.com.
I got to thank you for being a voice of reason in a sea of insanity.
Now back to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show on AM 800.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Fatty El Dondachi, Cassie Baggio in the studio with me here, and we're having lots of fun today, and we're talking all kinds of things, real estate and skunks, apparently, and
baby skunks
happening. The fireworks coming up on Monday night. All kinds of
carousel still going on.
Yes.
Carousel still going on. Yeah, lots of just yumminess.
Did you guys get a chance to make it out to the carousel
I did
this
not
year?
this year.
No,
No.
I have not so far. Yeah,
No. I was hoping to.
Yeah.
Still a little time.
Still a little time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know. So listen, real estate investing obviously is something that many folks do. Sometimes you don't hear about it. There's different ways to do it, whether it's just moving on to another house and not selling your last house and putting a renter inside. That's one form of real estate investing. Or there's actually purchasing purposeful real estate properties in order to invest in them for the long term. Or you can buy multi-units, larger buildings, commercial buildings. There's so many ways to invest. Well, as prices have started increasing in the last few years, well, it's getting harder and harder for especially younger investors to get into the market. So what are some people doing? Well, they're teaming up with their friends to buy investment properties, which, there are pros and cons of basically co-ownership, but there's many things to consider basically before you rent your property out to anyone. So if you've been seriously thinking about buying an investment property with a friend, there's some essential questions you should ask yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, we work with lots of investors on the team.
Absolutely.
And some are smaller, some are larger, right? Everyone has different goals.
Yep. Everybody has different needs.
Yes, which is really cool. It's a cool thing about real estate investing. So basically, here are some tips that we found that basically, keep these in mind as you're considering whether or not to invest with a friend. So on the list, what you want to do with the property in the long run, right? So first, everyone involved with the investment should be on the same page. If you're buying a vacation home rental, will you rent it out every week of the summer, or do you want to block time off for your use, for your friend's use? So as a partnership, you want to decide how this is going to be handled.
Absolutely.
Right? Especially those properties that are cottages or rented as Airbnbs. We have a lot of investors with stuff out in Florida,
like more short-term rentals, for sure.
Exactly. What can you afford? So dreaming is fun, but reality can look much different than the remodeled retreat you had in mind. Part of pooling your finances for an investment property is an open and honest discussion about what you can afford. So getting a professional mortgage broker or specialist on board is a good idea, no doubt, right? So that way you have a clear picture of what you can afford, the mortgage rates, and how long you'll be paying this property off.
And of course, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And of course, like if there's any renovations to be completed,
That's right.
how is that being divvied up? Who's doing what?
That's right.
Sometimes you hear things where, okay, well, somebody's really handy, so I'll do the work if you pay for this, So there's a lot of different ways people will come up with that kind of contract to work around.
And you also want to make sure you know what the property can realistically rent for, obviously, right? So look at how much comparable properties in the area are renting for and figure out what you can afford and offer that others can't. So you may also want to take some time with your partners to figure out how you get the property noticed and rented, learn what costs are associated, and determine who will pay for what. Because that can often be the issue with partnerships, right?
Sure.
Who's responsible for what aspect? Because if one partner, oftentimes it happens where one person is doing the majority of the work and starts getting, PO that the other person is just kind of
hanging out,
but not doing any work, whether it's renovation work or work on trying to lease the property out, et cetera, et cetera. So some things to think about there. So again, next on the list that I have is how we split the workload, right? So again, there's lots of things to consider. Renovations, who's handling the advertising of the property, who's screening the tenants going in. Is it a short-term rental property? Is it a long-term rental property? So is it a duplex that you have tenants in and they're good to go? After that, you just
also budgeting. So in case you don't rent it
Absolutely.
out, can you afford a monthly payment
right.
together with, the association of maintenance fees, insurance, property taxes?
That's right. All those important things to consider. How are the decisions made? So is there one partner that's basically taking the lead and someone else is just into, as an investment and you're just letting that partner take a lawyer, right? Well, really, a lawyer is important because you want to make sure everything is done properly and Because trust me, things get just, we have, we're friends, we know each other
Yeah.
forever, so it's all good. Yeah,
Or
trust me, when business,
Yep.
things will go sideways really quickly.
Money's
and next thing
involved
you know-
and,
Yep.
lots of movement.
More
and-
emotions get involved too.
And so to me,
Definitely.
even if you are very close friends,
Yeah.
both should understand the importance of having things done properly and legally.
Yeah.
To avoid any hassles or questions later on. Outline as much as you can on paper
Yep.
beforehand. Whose roles are what?
Yep.
Who's paying for what? Is the one partner, having money involved at all, or is it just one partner is the handy person and they're going to take care of the major workload, while the other is just the money person?
Because
right?
we do see that often, actually,
Yes.
where maybe one partner actually has a bit more of the down payment than, say, the other one, and the other one says, "Okay, I'm going to do more management because you put money down," and they
right.
kind of do that. But sometimes, getting towards the end of that, not everybody's still in agreement.
I would say
That's-
go very specific details, like you said.
Yeah.
Because you can agree who's going to take the lead, but what's involved in that lead? Are you driving half an hour to an hour weekly to get something,
Yeah.
to go do something? So those things add up. Do you have the time to put in?
And like you mentioned earlier, a lot of costs involved. So if it's,
Yeah.
if it's short term, who's cleaning the place?
Yeah.
Right? So on a weekly basis, as people leave, who's cleaning? You got to pay for that. Who's paying for it? Right? Because
Yeah.
the property might not cash flow right away.
Exactly.
If there's a slow period, who's taking care of that shortfall? Everybody, is everyone pulling in together, or what was the agreement there? Another big thing to consider, last on the list here, I'm making up as list as I go, but essentially is the exit plan, right? So as partnership, we have to decide together what the exit plan is.
Yeah.
Is this a plan where we're buying this thing at a good price? We're going to flip it, make some changes, renovations, and increase that, the funds coming in, and then sell it at a higher profit? Or is this a long-term play?
Yeah.
What is the exit plan? Because if one partner wants out, the other one doesn't, well, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got some legal fees there involved, and
Document
some
everything.
hassles. Document
Yeah.
everything.
Document
Yeah.
everything.
So lots of tips, but again, if
But it's a
someone
great
is-
way for people to bite into the market
That's
if they
right.
can't quite get in there. And sometimes that's all you need is that first initial step to get you to those other stepping stones, right?
And we talk about this from an investment standpoint, but also for those right now, for those first-time buyers that want to buy their first house but can't afford it alone.
Absolutely.
And they're buying that first that little bungalow with a friend or with family. Same rules apply, right? You have to know how this is going to work.
Yep. Yep.
So there you go. Some good tips there. Okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We'll give away the gift card in the next half hour for the Richmond Popcorn Company. If you haven't already entered, make sure you text the keyword today, which is popcorn, with your first and last name to 10800. You'll have a chance to win later on in the next half hour. We're going to come back. We have some listener questions that we'll get to. If you have any questions for us, some real estate related questions, you can text them at 10800 as well. You can always email me at dan@dangemus.com, and we'll get to those a little bit later on. And what else do we have? Oh, some common questions buyers should ask their realtors before buying a specific property. So we'll get to that later on in the show as well. So tons more to cover right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.